Welcome to the Uzziah Show. I am your host, Uzziah, your success strategist. And if you have any questions about your business, career, or finances, then this is the show for you. Welcome. Tonight, we're going to talk about one of the biggest names in the financial industry, Dave Ramsey. Some of you guys have heard of him. Some of you have not. Tonight, we are going to talk about Dave Ramsey's financial approach. What Dave Ramsey gets wrong with money. This is going to be a very important episode, so please make sure that you smash that like button and make sure that you leave me a comment below to shout me out and show me some love. Now, guys, for those of you that are on for the very first time, my name is Uzziah. I'm a professional business consultant, and my job is to help you get out of debt so that way you can start your own business. And one of the reasons why tonight's broadcast is so important is because you guys always want to know how to manage your money as an entrepreneur. You're always wondering, how do I create generational wealth? Tonight's broadcast is going to be very important because if you don't understand the differences between what Dave Ramsey teaches versus some of the things that I want to point out in tonight's broadcast, you could be in for a world of trouble. So don't say I didn't warn you. Don't cry about what happens if you follow all of the baby steps, because tonight you're being warned. So please make sure that you tune in. Share this broadcast on your social media outlets, and let's hop right into it. Now, I want to give you guys a brief background about Dave Ramsey. I got a question. How many of you know who Dave Ramsey is? If you know who Dave Ramsey is, press 1. If you've never heard of him before, press 2. I want to make sure that we start off with this because I just want to be able to set the tone for the room. I want to be able to get a feel of who knows him, who doesn't, because I'm going to walk you guys through a bit of background on him to help you guys know some of the differences. Now, I'm going to say this right off the rip. When I was paying off my student loans back in 2010, Dave Ramsey was one of the top influencers that I would listen to. There's a lot of things that Dave Ramsey talks about that I tend to agree with. However, there are some key differences. So, y'all, let's just check this out. Now, I'm going to share this on the screen so that way we could all see this in real time. This is the background on Dave Ramsey. David Lawrence Ramsey III, born September 3rd, 1960, is an American personal finance personality, radio show host, author, and businessman. He is an evangelical Christian and hosts the nationally syndicated radio program, The Ramsey Show. Ramsey has written several books, including the New York Times bestseller, The Total Money Makeover, and hosted a television show on Fox Business from 2007 to 2010. Now, LA for Life being funny right now. LA for Life said, watch out, Dave Ramsey.
Nope.
Y'all got to realize, man, from time to time, I'm going to talk about some of these different financial gurus since this is a financial channel. This isn't a full smoke show on Dave Ramsey because there are things that he talks about that I tend to agree with. However, there are some very key points that I believe that he gets wrong. And I want y'all to come on tonight's broadcast to tell me what I'm doing wrong in my assessment of him. That's what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to listen to my assessment of Dave Ramsey, and I want you to prove me wrong on the things that I'm saying. Listen, I'm always up for a good dialogue. I don't need this to be an echo chamber. Maybe there's certain things that I bring out that you feel maybe Dave Ramsey got that right. So please make sure that y'all tap into tonight's broadcast. And as always, if you want to see this show on air, please make sure that you donate. All you got to do is tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box, and your sponsorship will go a very long way. Even if you're watching this broadcast after the live stream is over, you can still support because the links to donate are in the description below. Now, let's get back to this article. This is giving us a basic background about who Dave Ramsey is. It says, Ramsey was born in Antioch, Tennessee, to real estate developers. Ramsey attended Antioch High School, where he played ice hockey. At age 18, Ramsey took the real estate exam and began selling property, working through college at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, where he earned a Bachelor of Science degree in finance and real estate. In 1986, Ramsey had amassed a significant portfolio worth over $4 million. Now, I want to pause this right here. I want to be very clear in this broadcast that despite the fact that I have differences with Dave Ramsey, I'm not one to knock people that have made a lot of money. I cannot come on here in good faith and be like, oh my God, everything that they say is totally wrong.
Nope.
Because obviously there's something that they did right to get to the money. It says Ramsey had amassed a significant portfolio worth over $4 million. However, when the Competitive Equality Banking Act of 1987 took effect, several banks changed ownership and recalled his $1.2 million in loans and lines of credit because he was over leveraged. Ramsey was unable to pay and filed for bankruptcy in 1988. And Dave Ramsey will even tell you on his broadcast that this is one of the reasons why he talks about getting out of debt so hard. He talks about how he made a lot of money starting off when he was young, and then he ended up losing all of it. And this is the reason why he encourages all of his audience to get out of debt as quickly as possible. And while not everything is wrong, as I said, there are some key differences that I want to point out. So now, guys, I want to bring your attention to something that Dave Ramsey is under fire for in 2022. I don't know how many of y'all heard about this, but recently there was a situation that took place where, as a real estate investor, Dave Ramsey raised the prices on his rent, and then he found himself under fire. Now, this is one of the things. I don't disagree with Dave Ramsey here. This is one of the things that I do feel that we have in common. Radio host Dave Ramsey insists if his tenants are homeless because he raised rent, it doesn't make him a bad Christian. Now, what am I agreeing on specifically? Me being a fellow church leader, my job is to make sure that the flock is secure. So if I have tenants who are not able to make rent, I'm not just going to have them out in the cold. I'm going to make sure that even if they cannot afford to live with me, that I have exercised certain options to make sure that they can stay somewhere else. Let's be clear. I don't want y'all to take my words and be like, oh, Uzziah, he's saying that people should be homeless too. He's trying to have people on the street too. No, what I am saying is that I do agree that real estate is a business transaction. One of the biggest problems when you bring church people into your company is that the lines get blurred between church and business. When you step inside of a church building, you are in church. When you start working with landlords, that's part of a business agreement. You should have a lease. You should be considerate of the fact that there are market rates tied to the property, the same way that you would want the landlord to have good business practices with you when it comes to the upkeep of the property. Dave Ramsey is under fire right now because, as a real estate investor, he started raising the prices on all of his housing properties. And because he raised the rent, certain people are claiming that they went homeless as a result. I think that we would need to dig a little bit further on that. All I'm going to say right now, guys, is if you're in the church arena and you also run a business, you do need to make sure that you separate the two. Oftentimes, lines can get blurred, and a lot of times people will try to guilt trip you because you're not running a charity case. I've experienced this myself. I've had people over the years see that I have select programs that come at a price, and they go, oh my God, how come you don't give everything away for free?
Nope.
Well, if I give everything away for free, how am I going to be able to afford all of the equipment that's necessary to produce this content? Y'all see this background I got? This costs money. Who's going to pay for the lights? How am I going to afford the camera? What internet connection am I going to get to be able to broadcast this all for free? So y'all got to understand, brothers and sisters, that even when somebody has good intentions, if they're running a business, they're going to have to charge from time to time. One of the things that I always talk about on this broadcast is how 98% of my content is totally free on this YouTube channel. However, if you want to level up and go deeper with my services and my time, as a businessman, I'm going to have to charge something. That's the same thing that Dave Ramsey is going through. Hey, I hope that it all works out, but I'm just trying to bring y'all up to speed. Now, one of the things that I do want to say is when you look at Dave Ramsey's content, one of the things that he talks a lot about are the baby steps. His content promotes a 7 baby steps framework where he says, if you follow these 7 baby steps, you will be able to live like no one else. This is a path for financial freedom. And just in case you don't know what those 7 baby steps are, step number 1 is that you save $1,000 in your emergency fund as quickly as possible. Step number 2 is that you pay off all of your debts except the mortgage. He also has a very specific approach on how to pay off the debt, which he calls the debt snowball. Now, let me kind of break this down a bit. The reason why he says to save $1,000 for your emergency fund is because this is for you to just get started in case of any little emergencies. I always tell you guys on this broadcast about how you have to have an emergency fund, because if you find yourself on the highway and your car breaks down, you need to have a little money set aside just to get you out of a jam. His first step is to save $1,000. His second step is to pay off all the debt except the mortgage using the debt snowball. His debt snowball is take whatever is your lowest balance debt first and pay that one off. He says that you should do that based upon emotional reasons. You want to build up a certain momentum. A lot of people give him a lot of flack for that because they say, well, why wouldn't you pay off the debt with the highest interest? But he understands that not everybody is mathematically driven. He understands that a large portion of people that are in debt got there because of emotional reasons. And one of the biggest tools that you could use to get you out of debt is the emotional momentum that you have in treating it like a game. That's why he says, take the smallest balance first, pay that one off, and then move on from there. The next thing that he talks about is how after you've gotten out of your debt, except the mortgage, you need to save up 3 to 6 months worth of emergency fund. Okay, you need to be able to have 3 to 6 months worth of emergency savings saved up in order to cover you and your household in the event that you fell on hard times. The fourth baby step that he talks about is investing 15% of your income towards retirement. The fifth baby step that he talks about is you investing in your child's college fund. And again, guys, this is not something that I can completely discredit because how many of us went to college and we did not have any kind of financial backing from our parents at all? Many of us would love to be in a position to pay off our kids' college tuition. So it's not all bad. And when you look at the sixth baby step that he talks about paying off your mortgage early. The seventh step is about building wealth. So that way you can have financial freedom, give away all of your money, and then live like no one else. He always champions how you need to make sacrifices in the short term so that you can win in the long term. And as much as he and I may agree on certain things, this is where we have some of our differences. My assessment of Dave Ramsey is that his content works best for average people who are trying to improve their finances. I don't believe that his content is designed for people who are trying to seriously level up and take risks to do it.
Nope.
I think that a lot of his content is for your average person who knows nothing about money, that needs a very simple approach to do better. And guys, again, I can't knock that because I came from a background where I didn't know nothing about money. A lot of us grew up in environments where you weren't taught about money. If there was anything that you were told about money, it was bad advice. There are a lot of sound principles that you will learn from his content. However, I would suggest that his program is really for people that are at a starter level. I also believe that his approach works best for people that want to play life safe. See, in order for you to have financial independence, you got to be willing to take risks. You talk to anybody that's out here that's made a lot of money through entrepreneurship, they're going to tell you they laid it all on the line. Dave Ramsey don't really talk about laying it all on the line. He talks about you getting just, your everyday job, building up your skills and leveling up and taking that money from your 9 to 5 and putting it towards debt as well as your retirement. So, what works well about this is that he provides a formula that anybody can use. Get a job, take a portion of the money, put it towards debt, and then move on with your life. Anybody can do that. That's not rocket science. However, it is not intended for somebody that wants to get there with a little bit more risk. And I'm going to tell you why that risk factor is so important. Because I know a lot of y'all are listening and you're like, well, Uzziah, who wouldn't want to get wealthy without taking a risk? Everybody would want to get wealth without going into any problems. I'm going to tell you why risk matters. But before I do that, let me get y'all a quick shout out. Thank you so much for all of the comments as well as the super chat. Thank you so much to my brother Yasha Allah for the $20 super chat starting us off. Y'all could see, man, I've been trying to level up on the show. Just know, Yasha Allah, your donations has gone into making a better experience. We got a better backdrop. We got the sound effects popping a little bit better now. Shout out to that. And y'all, appreciate y'all support so much, okay? Y'all know I love for this channel to be about positive energy, but I do think that it's important for us to evaluate what I'm discussing as the differences on tonight's broadcast, because a lot of y'all found out about Dave Ramsey before you found out about me. And I want to be very transparent with you to let you know what things we have in common and what things we don't. Don't want you guys to be blindly listening to me. I want you guys to be able to make educated decisions on your own. Okay. And LA for Life said, understood. I think you meant I don't mind paying for good services. And brother Uzziah definitely has what we need, so I'll pay for his services. Shout out to LA for Life. Now, again, for those of y'all that are just getting on, 98% of the content is for free. And shout out to my brother Akaman Malawaki 40. Thank you so much for the $10 sponsorship, King. Really, really means a lot. Thank you so much for everybody that's donating. Please make sure that you smash that like button. It only takes 2 seconds, but it goes a long way towards growing the channel. I'm trying to get this content out there, y'all. So please do your part. This is totally free for you to smash the like button, but it tells the YouTube algorithm to send this video out to more people that want to tap in, okay? Also, LA for Life says that she agrees with me. You said that you got a friend that swears by Dave Ramsey and Suze Orman. That's one thing that I want to talk about also. You know, the Dave Ramsey approach is effective when you're first starting off and you know nothing about money. I honestly believe that a lot of people go wrong with their money when they get off the Dave Ramsey bandwagon too soon. What I mean by that is, a lot of people find out about Dave Ramsey, but then they'll go off and listen to a million other financial literacy coaches. And sometimes they'll digest content that's too far ahead of your time. If you are loaded in, tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, Dave Ramsey will work for you. Because where he excels is stressing the importance of getting out of debt. Some of you guys, y'all want to listen to a billion financial coaches, but you don't have the income, the credit, or even the business savvy to fully apply what it is that they're saying. So I want y'all to know a lot of his content is a double-edged sword. It's very good at the starter level, But if you ever have ambitions of getting beyond the basics, you may need to move on. This is the reason why I told you guys that when I paid off my student loans starting back in 2010, Dave Ramsey was one of the main guys that I would listen to. But then as I evolved into being debt free and now needed to take my money and put it towards investing, I now needed to start learning new content. Okay. So let's go back to some of these differences, guys. Not only is his program starter level, basic, works well for the average person. One thing that I believe that he gets wrong with money is that he's not being honest about him talking about mutual funds and how that's your best investment vehicle. There's been plenty of people that have debunked that online that have shown and proven that index funds outperforms mutual funds from year to year. And one of the reasons why that happens is because of how expensive mutual funds are. Guys, without getting into too much details, because I'm not trying to bore you, the problem is that most people only think about the upfront dollar amount that they hear whenever they're talking about investment returns. So imagine I tell you, hey, you give me $500. I'm going to turn it into 1,000. But just because I turned it into 1,000 doesn't mean you'll walk away with 1,000. If I turn your $500 into $1,000, but then when you want to cash out, I only give you $50 back, what good does the $1,000 do?
Nope.
And that's one of the primary reasons why mutual funds are outpaced by the index, because index funds reduces your expense ratio. Expense ratio is how much money it costs for you to have your money in a fund. When you get a mutual fund, mutual funds are actively managed accounts where real people are trying to make investment picks around your money. The problem is their investment picks don't outperform the market. So when I told you guys last week about how the S&P 500 presented an over 20% gain in 2021, how many investors do you really think outperformed the S&P 500 last year? Not many. So many studies show that most investors do not outperform the market in their picks. So when you pay them money, you are paying for them to lose. You are paying money for another person to get a commission off of your investments, even though their investment picks do not beat out the average market. Okay, when you put your money in an S&P 500 index, there's nobody that's managing that account. It's a passive investment. Vanguard and all of these other major brokerage companies, they're already creating an automatic system that will take the top 500 companies in America and they'll just build a fund off of that. All of that is computerized. It's completely automated. So you're not having to pay Jack and Jill just to be able to invest your money. When you get into a mutual fund, you're always going to lose more money because you're having to pay more people. But when you invest in an index fund, the person that you are paying is yourself because the expense ratio is low. The money ain't going in nobody else's pocket. The expense ratios that are provided are at a very low fee. You're going to pay something to be able to invest in these brokerage firms. But the point that I'm making is a lot of people not knowing anything about money, They sit back and hear, oh man, Dave Ramsey said all I got to do is get into this mutual fund and I'll get X return. But you never hear about how much of that return is going to get ate up when you pull the money out. It's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. And that's the reason why I always promote the index, because the index fund gives you awesome returns on top of reducing your fees. Okay. And when I'm talking about the index fund, guys, I want you guys to know the index fund is just a general statement about the type of investment that's being made. It is an index. So you can get an S&P 500 index. You can get a tech index. You can get an international index. There are different kinds of index funds. But without making this a whole video about index funds, that is the long and short of it. Now, let me talk about something else right here. The second reason why I think that Dave Ramsey gets things wrong about money is because he's been a staunch advocate against crypto. Anybody who has watched cryptocurrency over the past few years knows that the annual returns of your top crypto coins have significantly outperformed the stocks in the stock market. It's not even close. When you look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, they've had crazy, dumb returns with your money. Like, do y'all realize there are people that made over $1 million last year just by having $15 in certain coins? And again, guys, you know, that's not to say that that's something that everybody can do. But this is the reason why I was pointing out that Ramsey's formula is for the everyday person. See, anybody can work at a 9-to-5 job, take some proceeds from it, pay somebody else to manage their money in the stock market, and then get a little return. But it's going to take a little bit more financial savvy for you to make money through different income streams outside of your 9-to-5, and then be able to leverage that money into different investment classes where your returns could be that much greater. Now, again, I want to point this out in fairness to Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey doesn't just talk about the 9-to-5 job. He also talks about entrepreneurship. He's written books on the subject of entre leadership. He has conferences for entrepreneurs. I want to give the man his fair shake. Okay. He talks about a lot of good things. But for anybody that could go and look at his content, he's slammed Bitcoin during times when people were making millions of dollars off of Bitcoin. Now, I will say again, if all of your money is going into Bitcoin, then you're at a tremendous risk, because obviously the crypto market is very volatile. 1 minute you're way up, another minute you're nose diving. This is the reason why I always talk about you guys having diversified investments. This is the reason I always tell you guys about having index funds, real estate investments, stock, and cryptocurrency allocations. Because there's no way I could ever say, don't invest in crypto, and then year to year, you see crypto coins making 300% ROI. If I get on a broadcast and I say, hey, I'm trying to help you level up financially, there's no way I can ever speak out about any investment that's giving a 300% ROI. I cannot get on a broadcast and rant and rave about a mutual fund that will only get an 8% return on investment on average, while from year to year, I'm watching 15-year-olds become multimillionaires because instead of getting in a mutual fund, they started to look up some of these coins that went to the moon. No way I could do that, guys. Okay. And this is the reason why I told you on the last broadcast, one sign that you're likely to succeed in 2022 is when you are following the latest trends. It's not to say that you're getting fully invested into a fad. But if you're still talking about an investment category that might have been the best 30 years ago, I'm sorry, buddy, it's no longer the best. There's been different investment vehicles that have been created, like the index fund, that have done better over time. Just keeping it a buck, okay? Now, the third thing that I want to talk about, and let me start looking at these comments. Shout out to Leah. Happy to see you on, Leah. You said it's off topic, but what's the best way to save money for your kids' future? I might do an entire show on that. I definitely have some different thoughts about this. I was just talking with a friend of mine about how they have a Roth account for kids. But one of the things that you can definitely do is set up different investment accounts. Some come with certain tax benefits from the government. Some are just regular investment accounts. I want to do a whole show on that broadcast because I think that deserves its own time. LA for Life says, wow, my brother did not educate me on that piece of information regarding the index fund. He made index funds sound as if it's a bad investment. Hey, I don't know where he got his information from, but you could just Google this, look up the return of the S&P 500 index. Y'all will see that the S&P 500 index have had a strong yearly average from the time that the S&P 500 index fund began. So, guys, this is the reason why I'm just trying to put y'all up on game. Malawaki 40 said, yep, index funds is where it's at. It's working out for me long term. Yasha Allah, I see you on here, King. You got anything for us so far?
Yeah, sorry I came late. Shalom.
No problem. Good to see you,
I was almost out. I was laying down, almost out, and I woke up. You know what I'm saying?
Happy to see you on.
I remember Dave Ramsey. He was back when I was younger, and like I said, he's for the basic person who just wanted to cheat. Because back then, was really no internet really back then at all. It was barely just, you know what I'm saying, at all. Just barely out and stuff like that. But he's for the basic. And he did go bankrupt. People don't understand that. So that shows you his wasn't working out right if you went bankrupt. You see what I'm saying?
Now, I do want to say something. When we talk about basic, oftentimes Dave Ramsey, he'll tell you on his broadcast, hey, as long as you follow this step and you invest X amount of money into your 401k, by the time that you become 60 to 70 years old, you could either have hundreds of thousands or you could be a millionaire. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. I don't want anybody to confuse basic with broke. You can create financial security by following Dave Ramsey's formula. However, it limits how much money you could have potentially made because you're following a very conservative approach to making money. Work at a 9-to-5 job for the rest of your life. Take a tiny fraction of that and put it towards your retirement. Cash that retirement out when you're 60 to 70 years old, even though there's been all these other funds that have been making hundreds % ROI from year to year, for decades as you were putting money into retirement. There may have been other routes to making more money that you overlooked. So when I'm talking about basic, I'm speaking from the perspective of opportunity cost. Some of you guys, you want to be able to live the lifestyle of the rich and famous. You're not going to live the lifestyle of the rich and famous anytime soon, dealing with Dave Ramsey. You can still have a nice life. But for some of you guys that are looking to stunt and ball out in the immediate future, Dave Ramsey's formula is not the way to go because it is built upon a conservative strategy. His upside is that it's something that anybody can do, and it's a way of investing your money while lowering your risk. Okay, so back to what you were saying, Yashala.
Yes, that's true about that. He just for the about the middle class. You know what I'm saying? Like don't want to achieve. You know, just want to barely get by. You know what I mean? Live comfortable.
Right.
I do remember him. He did go broke, and like a lot of these seminar, like the other woman, Susan Weber, I went to her seminar.
Mm-hmm.
I went to this. You gotta be careful. People be tricky out here. She didn't even show up to the seminar.
Nope.
You know, it was somebody else. Like, who the people is?
Yeah.
And they even why she wasn't there. Like, why she's not here? She's doing a seminar, but they want $5,000 of your money. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm like, nah. And I did my research on her too. You gotta do research. People are quick, fast talkers. Get you because you hear money, and you sucked in, and it's too late.
Right.
So,
Great points. I'm gonna bring you back in just a little bit. Now, for those of y'all that are looking to cam up, I'm going to put the link here. And again, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong on what I've said. Listen to the points that I've brought out specifically. Tonight's broadcast, y'all, is about what Dave Ramsey gets wrong with money. Okay, make sure that you smash that like button. Make sure that you donate. All you got to do is tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box. The first thing that I've talked about on what he gets wrong with money is that he promotes mutual funds knowing that index funds are better. I outlined how index funds will allow you to retain more of your investment returns, and that is due to the expense ratio. Again, what I said in my assessment was Dave Ramsey's formula is built for the average person that knows nothing about money but wants a sense of stability. So for a person that's not self-invested enough to look into the stock market and make their own investments, hey, follow Dave Ramsey's formula. Go out. He has a list of advisors that does business with him where they will set you up with a series of mutual funds. And without knowing anything about the market, your money is going somewhere. It's better than nothing, guys. So again, I want to be very clear. This is not, like a full blast session. There's a lot of things that Dave Ramsey talks about that I tend to agree with. However, I'm just outlining the differences between me and him. When you come to this channel, I show you how to do it yourself. I show you how to be able to invest in index funds so that way when you pull the money out during your retirement to create generational wealth, you can retain as much of it as possible. You will not need to pay all of these different people who did not even make you more money long term that you could have made by yourself just by going through an index fund off of Vanguard. Just keeping it a buck, guys. Okay. So again, this is where you got to look at yourself. If you got to say, you know what, Uzziah, I know I'm not about to set up my own brokerage account. I know I'm not about to start researching these index funds. You actually should take Dave Ramsey's approach because you'll end up making less money claiming that you're going to do something on your own and then you never do nothing. Nope. So the first thing that I talked about is how he promotes these mutual funds almost disingenuously, knowing that mutual funds are not the best funds within the market. Secondly, he also speaks against cryptocurrency, even though cryptocurrency has blown up. Okay, guys, if it's the year 2000 and you got $100 Would you have wanted your $100 in a growth stock mutual fund, or would you have wanted it in Bitcoin? It's 2010. You got $100. Would you have wanted $100 in a growth stock mutual fund or in Bitcoin? How can you speak so vehemently against the very fund that is light years beyond any mutual fund returns? Bitcoin has been the number one investment over the last decade. While I agree it's extremely volatile, a lot of people are getting into crypto not knowing what the hell they're doing. As much as I agree on those points and temper you because of it, there's no way I could ever say don't do it at all, because I'm telling everybody to be penny wise and pound foolish. Okay. The third thing that I believe that Dave Ramsey gets wrong about money is the discussion about credit. One of the things that he oftentimes talks about is how credit is insignificant when you can buy everything in cash. Because he's done such a good job of managing his money long term, whenever he tends to buy certain things, he tends to buy it without credit. So he'll say, buy a car in cash. Don't worry about needing to have credit for all of these different things, because creditors are going to put you through this game where you're going to spend so much money trying to build your credit that it's actually going to take you away from sound financial principles. On a lot of that, I agree. He and I agree. It is not good sense for you to be out here living paycheck to paycheck and then go to the car dealership buying a brand new car that depreciates in value by 15% the minute that you take it off the car lot.
Nope.
Where he and I agree is you deserve to be broke if you keep making dumb decisions. Nobody should be entitled to think that they deserve financial freedom, and you keep making dumb decisions with your money day after day. When it comes to you getting all of these different liabilities, you should not be taking out massive amounts of debt just to cash flow them. He and I agree on the fact you should not go to college to get $100,000 in student loans for an underwater basket weaving degree. You need to be able to learn skills that are profitable in the marketplace. However, where we disagree is the significance of credit, because when you are in your formative years, depending upon how ambitious you are bound to run into situations where you have to have excellent credit. And unless you already have a student loan or something else that's being reported to the bureaus, you're going to have to deliberately play the credit game on some level in order for you to get your foot in the door to build wealth. So let me give an example. I just told you guys last week that I am now officially worth over $1 million in real estate. I now have over $1 million worth of real estate in my investment portfolio. Okay. And I would have never gotten there had I not deliberately focused on my credit. Now, let me show y'all how this shifts. In 2010, back when I was listening to Dave Ramsey, he was right in telling me just focus on paying off the student loan and then it's going to be all good. Because by me consistently paying off my student loans from year to year, that fixed my credit right there. Because Sally Mae was reporting to the lender, to the bureaus every month, Uzziah is paying his bill on time and he's paying it off aggressively. So actually, just by me paying off my student loans, that actually positioned me to be able to have the credit to buy my first real estate investment property. So what I'm saying is, for those of you guys who have student loans, you do not necessarily need to go out and take out 5 or 6 different credit cards, all in the name of I'm building my credit. You need to already assess if you already have different trade lines or different credit vehicles that's already being reported in the first place. Because if you already got student loans, they're already reporting. Focus on paying those off, and then you're already in the money. But here's the thing, guys. I've said on this channel numerous times, your credit report only stays with you for 7 years. So everything that's tied to your credit history is only there for a limited time. So when I went to go and get another property in December 2021, I couldn't go to the lenders and be like, but hey, guys, did you see how well I paid Sally Mae in 2010?
Nope.
Did you see how easily I got through my student loans? They didn't care about that because it wasn't on the report. What was on the report was what I did to build my credit over the past 7 years. Those accounts that got closed after paying off those student loans, nowhere around. And that's the reason why, even when you guys have student loans, but you're trying to make investments over time, you still have to have some awareness of how to play the credit game. You don't, when I tell people to get credit cards, I'll say, don't get a credit card if you don't have any common sense.
Nope.
If you don't have any common sense, if you're irresponsible, don't get a credit card, because that's going to be one of the worst decisions of your life. I constantly refer people to reputable credit repair companies. Or if you want to learn how to do it yourself, I give you the game on that. I have a program called the Build Your Credit Video Vault. But again, when it comes to the subject of credit, if you're looking to be a real estate investor, you're going to need credit. I just installed some solar panels on my property in Austin, and they just ran an inquiry on my credit today. There's no way that you guys are going to be able to really go that deep in the investment game without your credit being on some kind of level. Even when you think about getting rental cars. Now, there are companies like Dollar that will allow you to get a rental car through a debit card. However, a lot of times if you try to go to a rental car, they require that you have a credit card in order to rent a vehicle. What I recommend that you do to responsibly use credit is to keep your credit utilization below 20%, and don't put more on that credit card than what you can afford to pay in full every month. You do need to use the credit card a little bit just to get some transactions going so something can be reported to the bureaus. If you don't use a credit card at all, you know what's going to happen? You could take out a credit card, and because you never use it, it's going to get inactive and close. That's going to affect your credit score negatively. Also, if you don't use any kind of revolving credit, when you try to go and get an investment property, one of the first things that the underwriter is going to say against you is that you don't have any history of having revolving credit. Creditors want to be able to see that you know how to use credit in order to give you credit. Does that make sense? When you go off and try to invest in these different real estate properties, unless you're making cash offers, the lender wants to see what your track record is when other people lent you money, because not knowing anything about your payment history presents a risk. If you come to me and I don't know nothing about how you've paid off a loan in the past, that's very risky for me. But if I've watched you successfully pay back 100 people on time, I'm going to be racing to give you money because I know you're going to be paying me back on time. And these are all things that you got to think about, especially as you start to set some career goals. Some of you guys want to be real estate investors. Some of you guys want to set up different funds. You're not going to be able to get ahead without credit, guys. I mean, that's what it is. If it was, I wish that you could get ahead without credit, but that's just what it is. Okay. And shout out to Cozy. Cozy said, hey, y'all, your background is lit. Shout out to you, Cozy. Thank you so much. Y'all, if y'all are getting a lot of value from tonight's broadcast, please make sure that you smash that like button. Also, please make sure that you donate. Okay, whoever has the highest sponsorship on tonight's broadcast will be the official sponsor of this particular episode. So please make sure, guys, that you tap that dollar icon directly below the live chat box. And even for those of y'all that are donating through Cash App or PayPal, just leave me a comment below. Let me know that you gave a sponsorship. I'll check my phone and I'll shout you out to give you the respect that you deserve. Okay. So for all of y'all that are on, all that you're on. Okay. Anton says, Uzziah, what did you gain / learn when you listened to Dave Ramsey? Great question. I learned that I needed to get out of debt as quickly as possible. And that was gold for me when I got out of college, because all of my friends were talking about paying on their student loans for the rest of their life. Had I not learned about Dave Ramsey at that particular time, because one thing that you guys got to remember also, y'all, in 2010, there weren't a lot of people that were on YouTube telling you how to manage your money. In 2022, everybody and their mama is talking about the bag. But back during that time, there were very few people that spoke about money on a professional basis. And what I learned the most was how jacked up my life would have been had I been like everybody else that was only making minimum payments on their credit cards as well as their student loans. By him being so passionate about getting out of debt, it really told me the sense of urgency that I needed to have in order to have a better future. It helped me understand also that I needed to do things in phases. I think a lot of people who don't listen to Dave Ramsey, they try to do everything with their finances at once. And it's counterproductive, because when you try to take your money and spread it across a billion different things, you don't go anywhere fast. So one of the things that I did learn from Dave Ramsey was, hey, there's a time and place for everything. If you don't have any money in your emergency savings, focus on your emergency savings. If you don't, if you have debt, make sure that you do all you can to pay off your debt and make that your primary focus. Had it not been for those teachings, I would have just been all over the place doing God knows what, man. I'd have probably been traveling, going on vacations left and right, making minimum payments on my credit card. My financial situation would have been jacked up. And that's the reason why I said this video is not bashing Dave Ramsey. It's simply a intelligent discussion about what things I truly believe he does do incorrectly with money, and what things I teach differently, knowing better according to the statistics, according to the research, as well as the results. There are reasons why you will see other people that are billionaires that may take a different approach than some of the things that Ramsey suggests. However, for the average person that wants to live a better life, a lot of his content is solid. Now, let's get back to the differences. So we talked about the significance of the credit score. I don't think that is something that you should take for granted. Dave Ramsey prides himself on having a 0 credit score from time to time, since he can just pay for things in cash. But the problem is, you're not going to get everything in cash unless you are 1,000,000 years old or a corporate slave. I'm just telling y'all the real deal, man. Unless you got old money, long money, the type of money, yeah, I got to put Yasha Allah on the screen. You know what I'm talking about, Yasha Allah. Unless you got real old money, you're not paying everything off in cash. Tell me I'm lying.
Talking about your name is Toby, boy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's what he's talking about, that old money. You know what I mean? But you're right. I ain't got no Shaquille O'Neal's money. I'm sorry.
Right.
So it gotta be credit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's the way it is. You know, but yeah, he's definitely correct though. So
absolutely. You know, so you're gonna have to find yourself in certain situations. You're going to need to use credit. I recommend credit for assets, not liabilities, things that actually increase your net worth over time because they appreciate. Okay. But when we talk about credit, you're not going to be able to buy everything in cash unless you've lived long enough to be able to amass that much money over a long period of time, or you work at a corporate job for the rest of your life, because you have to be able to take risk and sometimes go without if you're going to set up your own business or do other things. If you're going to set up a business, you're going to have a lot of your money locked into your business. You're not going to have the finances to be able to buy everything else in cash because you're trying to put your money towards your ventures. So unless you lock yourself into a 9-to-5 job for the rest of your life, there's not going to be a very practical way for you to buy everything in cash because you're factoring in time plus fixed income. These are all things you got to consider. Okay. Now, I also want to point out the amount of people in America who make enough money through other means to buy everything in cash at a reasonable age is very few. There ain't a lot of 30-year-olds running around talking about how they could buy everything in cash.
Nope.
Not everybody out in these streets have enough money to, to buy everything that they want to satisfy their life's ambitions in cash. And that's the reason why credit is so important for you to use responsibly. Okay. And that's the reason why I tell you guys, make sure that you check out your credit report. Okay. You are legally entitled to one credit report every year. Make sure that you get it. Make sure that you check out my recent videos on how to maximize your credit score, because I walk you through the step-by-step process on how to do it. Okay, I got 2 other things, guys. Stay with me. These are among the heaviest hitters on what I think Dave Ramsey gets wrong with money. One of the biggest problems that I find with Dave Ramsey's teachings is that Dave Ramsey promotes the retirement pie in the sky. The retirement pie in the sky means work at a 9-to-5 job for the next 40 years. Take a portion of that money, put it into your 401k and Roth IRA. And when you are 70 years old, you're going to be on top of the world. Way to go for you. You're going to be able to travel when you're in your wheelchair. While your kids are trying to put you in a senior citizen's home, you're going to be wanting to go out and buy the Ferrari. No.
Nope.
You want to know how to live today. You want to know how to make the right financial decisions that will allow you to enjoy life while you're young enough to do it. And I'm not doing this any shade to my brother Yasha Allah, but Yasha Allah will be one of the first people to tell you not everybody lives to see 60 plus years old. So a lot of you guys, you're putting your entire life into a process where you only win if you're able to live for the next 30 years. And that's a major risk. One of the biggest risks that you could ever take is to live a life to say, you know what? I'm going to just live off of nothing for the next 30 years because you know what? When I'm 70, all this is going to pay off. I'm going to be able to travel. I'm going to be able to live in a nice house. I'm going to be able to have the nice car. But from 20 all the way to 60, that's when I'm roughing it. Some of you guys, God forbid, you would be among the people that rough it from 20 to 60, and you don't even live to see 60 because you have a heart attack with all the roughing it that you did during your prime years. Here you are working at a 9-to-5 job you can't stand. You don't like the boss. You don't like the commute. You don't like what you're doing, but you're trying to hustle and bustle so hard, hoping that one day when you're 60 to 70, it's all going to pay off. Why not follow a financial process that allows you to enjoy the fruits of your labor today? And let's be clear, when I'm talking about you enjoying the fruits of your labor today, there's still a grind to it. I'm not talking about get rich quick. I'm talking about you following an accelerated formula that allows you to get the type of money that you want within the next 5 years. I don't want to wait until I'm 70 years old to call myself a millionaire. I want to start having that $1 million right now. And you've got to follow a different strategy. And guess what? You having millions of dollars is not coming just by you working at a 9-to-5 and putting a small fraction of your income into a 401k. Just keeping it a buck.
Nope.
I champion a 401k. I get on here all the time and tell you guys that if you don't have money into a 401k, you're losing. But you got to understand there's more than one way to make money. If you are limiting yourself to a formula that is not getting you money too early, you're going to have to wait for a very long time for that formula to make sense. Again, it's all about risk. For you not taking risk by starting up businesses, getting out of the 9-to-5, doing all these other things, by you riding the safe route through Dave Ramsey's model, that's actually one of the riskiest things that you can ever do, because you may never live to see the day where you enjoy your money. And if that's a sacrifice that you want to make, guys, you know, that's on you. But I'm just wanting to point that out, okay? Also, I want to say this as well, and this is the fifth piece. I think one of the things that you need to understand about Dave Ramsey is that Dave Ramsey, he popularized an approach to wealth that he did not follow himself. When you see him on the radio show talking to all these different people, they're calling up, "Hey, Dave, I've got $50,000 in debt. Can you help me?" Whenever he talks to a lot of these people, he's always telling them, hey, stay at the job, pay off the debt. I just want you to imagine by the time that you get 70, it's all going to be worth it because you're going to have $1 million in your retirement account. But is that how Dave Ramsey built his wealth? Did Dave Ramsey get his wealth by calling into a radio show, being strapped with debt, and then being told as the formula, stay at this 9-to-5 job forever, because when you stay at that 9-to-5, by the time that you get 60 to 70, you're going to have $1 million in the bank? That's not what Dave Ramsey does to build his wealth.
Nope.
You know, it's kind of like one of those do as I say, not as I do type things. Do you think that Dave Ramsey would be as wealthy as he is today if he followed the exact same formula that he tells the average person to follow? Dave Ramsey did not get his wealth by working at a 9-to-5 job and only putting into a growth stock mutual fund. Dave Ramsey built a multi-million-dollar empire by running his own business, by setting up multiple streams of income, by investing in real estate on top of the stock market. Pretty much all of the things that I tell you guys to do on a daily basis on this channel, that's what he built his entire career around. Dave Ramsey's got a book. That's how he made a lot of his money. I got a book. I tell you guys, start up your own business, write a book. What I'm saying is, don't listen to what your financial guru tells you. Watch what they do. And the difference between a lot of my content and Dave Ramsey's content is everything that I'm telling you guys about, I'm actually living that. When I tell you guys about entrepreneurship, you're seeing me as an entrepreneur on the broadcast saying, hey, I'm telling you guys to make money through entrepreneurship. I'm focusing on making money through entrepreneurship. Now, let's be clear. Do I believe that it behooves you from time to time to work at a 9-to-5 just to be able to have fixed income that you can use to put towards your business ventures? Absolutely. But I'm not limiting you guys towards the concept of staying at a 9-to-5 job for the rest of your life, because that's not how you are going to build real wealth. And guys, also, I did a broadcast in 2021 that showed you that even if you have $1 million in your retirement account by your retirement age, like Dave Ramsey says, by the time that you get to your retirement age, you will only be able to pull out a little over $30,000 per year. If the average person is living to 90 years old with $1 million in your retirement account, that means you're only able to live off of $30,000 per year for the 30 years of your retirement. So obviously, you're going to need to make more money if you want to live a better lifestyle. And that's the reason why I talk about you guys focusing on building up multiple investments outside of the 401k quickly, so that way you can start to have cash flow generators before you get to your retirement. I'm not banking on my 401k to cash me out when I get to 60. I'm going to have other investment vehicles that were cashing me out long before that age. Okay. And this is the reason why, guys, you will see different financial gurus talk about different things. You know, I'm sure that many of you guys have heard about the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm sure if there's a time, Lord willing, I'll break that down also. But I need you guys to understand there's nothing wrong with working at a 9-to-5. But if a 9-to-5 and putting that money towards a 401k was the key to financial freedom, why isn't Dave Ramsey himself doing it? I think that you can leverage that from time to time as you are building up your empire through another means. So until you do like what Dave Ramsey does, rather than he says, you may have to work at a 9-to-5 job like I did. Okay. There's been times in my marriage, my wife didn't work. There's been times in my marriage, my wife did work. So guys, these are all things that I just wanted to be able to share with y'all. My 5 things that I think that Dave Ramsey gets wrong about money is, number 1, he promotes mutual funds, knowing that index funds are better. He speaks against crypto. And if I'm keeping it a buck, there's an entire business model that he has around getting people into mutual funds. Okay. He has a whole list of advisors that he commissions, and that's all a part of their business model. The person that's the advisor, they get a commission off of doing the mutual fund. But I'm telling you, the index fund actually keeps more money in the bank, but that stops everybody else getting paid. You know, the person that gets paid the most to an index fund? You. I think that he gets that part wrong. I also think that he gets wrong his anti-crypto talk. Because even though you do have some crazies out here that are taking all of their money and putting it into crypto ignorantly, there's no way you could be 100% against it, knowing all of the massive returns that cryptocurrency has gotten. Stocks could not hold a candle to the type of returns that crypto has generated over the past few years. And I'm talking specifically about mutual funds. You know, there have been certain stocks that have done really well, phenomenal. But guys, when you just look at the numbers, the two are not even close. Number three, I do believe that credit is going to be more important than what Dave Ramsey makes it out to be. I do believe that some of you guys take the credit thing to an extreme. I do agree with him that sometimes when you get caught up in the credit game, you end up spending more money than you ought to, all in the name of building your credit. Credit, it's like a gun. If you don't know how to use it, it can be very dangerous to you. But if you know how to use it responsibly, it can help to save your life. I also believe that the retirement pie in the sky thing, that's just not for me. I don't know about y'all. Maybe some of y'all want to live a lifestyle where you want to live off of rice and beans until you're 60 to 70 years old. And then that's when you can finally ball out and count your millions. I want to count my millions now. I'm 34 years old. I did a thing last week where I was talking about owning over $1 million worth of real estate right now. I don't want to wait until I'm 60 to 70 years old to start to get to those numbers. This is the most prime time of my life right now, while I'm in good health. Hell, we don't even know what the next 5 years are going to look like after everything that we didn't see with this daggone pandemic. To hell with waiting until you're 60 or 70. Folks don't even know how they're going to be living in the next 2 to 3 years' time.
Nope.
So what I'm saying is you've got to be able to design a life for yourself to where you can hustle now, but you could reap the benefits of living while you're in position to enjoy it. That's going to require your hustle to be on a different level than many of Dave Ramsey's followers. If you don't have that level of hustle in you, then I recommend that you follow his approach. You know, if you don't have a lot of ambitions, if you don't want to, walk away with millions in the bank, if you want to take more of a safe, low risk process through life, I definitely think that his baby steps are very helpful for a lot of people. But what I'm saying is, if you want more out of life, you have to start paying attention to how the people that have the life that you want got there. Pay attention to how Dave Ramsey got his wealth, not how he's telling you to get your wealth. And that's the most important thing. He makes his wealth differently than how he tells a lot of other people to do so. And in his defense, sometimes he says that because people don't have his drive. But make sure that you apply the steps that your guru is following to make sure that you get to the success that they have. And that's the same thing, Yasha Allah, with Suze Orman. Suze Orman, she has a business. She has a book. She's a public figure. This is how she's making her money. Hey guys, success leaves clues. If y'all want to have any kind of success in this life, study the people that have the success that you desire and just follow what they did, not what they said, what they did. And then soon enough, you will have that success yourself. I want to start going through some of these comments, guys. Let me start going through some of these comments. Y'all, it's been a minute since there was any super chats. Oh, actually an hour. It's been about the last time that our super chat came through was 8:38 p.m. Central. Come on, y'all.
Nope.
All this value y'all been getting out of this broadcast, please make sure that y'all donate. I know a lot of y'all, they got caught up in the moment, y'all, Shala. They got caught up in the hype. They're like, oh, man, the brother's going in. He's talking about a big figure, man. Oh, man, is this some smoke? They got so caught up in the hype of me talking about Dave Ramsey. You know, the sponsorships. What happened to the sponsorships, y'all? Make sure that you tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box. Your donations go a long way. And again, I'm putting up the link for y'all to cam up. If there was something that I said on this broadcast that you felt was wrong, I'm not infallible. If you think that Dave Ramsey got one of those 5 particular points right and I got it wrong, get on the camera and prove me wrong, okay? Bring your receipts, bring your statistics. I'm all ears. And shout out to my sister, Ariel, thank you so much for making that next $10 sponsorship. Thank you for finally breaking the ice, y'all. For those of y'all that want to sponsor through Cash App or PayPal, the information is on the screen. And the links to donate are in the description below. Okay, Yasha Allah, let's start checking out some of these comments, man. Let's start checking out some of these comments to see what the people have to say. Cozy Coordinated Life, Debbie says, Dave, I'm gonna mute your mic real quick because I'm getting some echo. She said, Dave is God sent for this and future generations. His biblical references for handling money is especially what inspires me. Now, again, y'all noticed I didn't knock anything that was said about his scripture references pertaining to money. And that's one thing that I want a lot of y'all to start paying attention to. Some of the wealthiest people in the world, when discussing how they got wealthy, use Bible verses. They understand that the Bible has the answers on how to gain financial freedom. But a lot of times, everyday Christian folk, we'll claim that we love the Bible and that we love God, but we won't be reading none of these scriptures on how to manage our money.
Nope.
Think about the scripture on Joseph and the 7 years of plenty and the 7 years of famine. That's a primary example of how our forefather Joseph knew the importance of having an emergency fund. He knew, hey, there's going to be a time where you're going to be, getting more resources. There's going to be a time where you're going to be in a drought. There's so many different scriptures in the Bible. Christ talking about counting the cost. That's about budgeting. There's so many different scriptures that we read about in the Bible that talks about managing your finances. So when it comes to the scriptures, you won't hear nothing from me, okay? But one of the things that I also will say as well, and some of y'all might come for me after this, but let's just keep it a buck. One of the biggest problems that we have as a community is that a lot of people don't believe that they can succeed financially because they don't see enough of us talking about it. They don't see enough of us actually breaking down financial principles like Dave Ramsey does. So as a result, they feel like they cannot identify with the information. Now, there are some like myself and Cozy who did tap into the content. But this is the reason why, guys, we need more of us out here that's preaching financial literacy, so that way the community feels like they can digest the content. There's probably certain things that I said on tonight's broadcast that y'all can resonate with. So leave me a comment and let me know how y'all feel. Yasha Allah, you got any thoughts?
You're correct, everything you said, but you left out one key point about you.
What's that?
You have discipline.
Oh, thank you,
That's
sir.
the whole key point. If you don't have that discipline,
Right.
nothing's never going to work. He had that discipline at a young age. You know, I didn't have it. I was too buck wild. You know what I'm saying? I got it now. You know what I'm saying? You know, but he has that discipline. He ain't partying. He ain't chasing women. He ain't getting drunk. He ain't getting high. You know what I'm saying? He ain't just going out and just splurge every time he makes some money and just spending it. He's not doing that. You know what I mean? And then a lot of people don't stand. Like, when I was down for a while, them days I was down, you said, I'm in a nice room. You know what I mean? I was enjoying myself. But I still had customers coming for credit. And our people would give you a headache. No discipline. Well, I want to buy a house in 6 months. You have a 450 credit score. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You got bankruptcy. It takes time to come up. But you know what I mean? And another guy, he was in the truth. He jumped out the truth. He about to lose his job, lose his home. When I got his credit score up, he got the nice apartment. He got the nice car. He got the nice credit cards. And he ruined it. Didn't want to work. This shing. No, it's not for that. Hey, you know what I mean? It is what it is, but you got to have that. If you don't have that discipline, it's never going to work. I don't care what you do. Stocks, bonds, Bitcoins, crypto, whatever. Real estate is just not going to work because you don't have the discipline.
Absolutely. And you hit on a very key point, because let's be clear. Whether you follow Dave Ramsey's approach, Rob Kiyosaki's approach, Sue Zorman's approach, my approach, you're not going to get to wealth without discipline. Just plain and simple. There's no free pie in the sky, get rich quick, just sit on your behind and then count your millions formula. Okay. And anybody that tells you that is a liar. You have to have discipline in order to pull this off, guys. And see, the reason why I'm so happy that you said that, Yashala, is because, if you're going to be that disciplined, why don't you discipline yourself enough to live your best life possible? So there's going to be a certain discipline that is going to take to follow Dave Ramsey's formula. Set some money aside in emergency savings. Don't spend it. Pay off all of your debts except your mortgage. That requires a lot of discipline. Trust me. And see, again, this is what I was saying a little bit earlier, Yasha Allah. A lot of people, they'll listen to these different financial gurus and then they'll just kind of laugh Dave Ramsey away. But I promise you, the people that are on his show that are screaming, we're debt free, if they had to pay off $50,000 in debt, $60,000 in debt, $100,000 in debt, like I did, that's no light change. Y'all might be watching a million different influencers, but you may not even have the level of discipline as his audience does to manage your money on a regular zero-based budget and then pay off your debts as they come up. So again, I'm not knocking the practice of the discipline. What I'm saying is, from the time that you get yourself out of debt, if you have big dreams of sitting on millions on top of millions of dollars, you definitely need to research how to be able to do that most effectively. One of the best things that you're going to get from Dave Ramsey's approach is peace of mind, because nothing is more comfortable than knowing that you don't owe anybody anything. And that's the reason why he talks about paying your home off early, because even though, yes, you may be able to go out into the market and with the exact same amount of money that you would have put towards paying your house off early, you're putting towards, some investment that's getting you a higher rate of return. One of the things that Dave Ramsey's followers really value is the peace of mind in knowing, hey, you know what? Maybe I could have made more money taking a different route, but I have so much comfort in knowing I don't have no debts. My house is paid off. So now life just feels that much easier. Okay, so I don't want y'all to walk away from this thinking that you can't be on a come up. What I'm telling you is you got to consider when your come up shall be. Okay, there's when you read about guys, like myself, 30 years old, $1 million in real estate, guys that are teenagers and 20 years old starting to become millionaires. They're following a different formula. Nobody's becoming a teenage millionaire going to a 9-to-5 job, putting money into their 401k and cashing out. And even when you look at the world's wealthiest people, how many of them tell you, oh, do you know how I got this amazing home? Because I just pulled the money right out of my 401k. Because my 401k is so profitable, that's the reason why I have this 2-3-story mansion. You never hear about that from those guys. They had to follow a different formula. Some of the practices along the way may have been similar. But what I'm saying is you're going to get yourself to a point down the road where if you want the success that certain people have, you're going to do things the way that they did it. And even with Dave Ramsey, even though he may be telling common folk, hey, stay at this 9-to-5 job, do your Roth IRA and your 401k. He also talks about real estate. Look at how he built his wealth himself. You notice he didn't spend 40 years at a 9-to-5 job. He built a business. He invested in real estate. You could not ask him when was the last time you worked at a 9-to-5 because it was a very long time ago. Okay. So that's what it is, y'all. Let me look at some of these comments. LA for Life says, I've got to work on my school loans and I'm more disciplined now than I've ever been in my entire life. Shout out to you. Keep doing your thing, sis. I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. You said that's so true. Having discipline is so important. Okay. I appreciate y'all for all of the comments that y'all gave on this broadcast. And make sure that y'all check this out, when you watch it all over again. I'm seeing some of y'all really talked about how you were able to buy things in cash. And that's what's up. Anton says, I agree. I paid cash for my land years ago and my credit put a halt on building the house because I couldn't finance all the materials needed. Y'all see that? So when you find yourself in a situation like that, just know you're going to wish that you had the credit. And if you don't have the credit, your lifestyle is going to be delayed. Now, if y'all are cool with lifestyle delay, hey, do you? But y'all got to ask yourselves when y'all want to live y'all's life, man. I don't want to wait until I'm that far down the road to be able to live a certain life. I want to be able to live the life while I'm able to enjoy it, preferably in my youth. Okay. And let me say this as well. There's always another side to the coin. Please do not take my words out of context when I'm talking about living your life now, because a lot of y'all want to live that YOLO life. And this is the reason why you end up 60, 70, 80. And now you're having to work very hard because you're having to make up for the sins of the past. So when I'm talking about, Yashal, I wanted to co-sign that one real quick.
Yes, that's true, because I done it. And I done it. I'm trying to tell you, man, I done it. Especially traveling in the military, I done it. Driving a truck in my early years, I done it. He's like, oh, what happened? I'm 50-something. What happened? It's your passion. You're having fun. Don't get me wrong. And you balling out. But, oh, no. So I made a plan years ago. At 62, I'm good.
Correct.
And that's aggressive, like you said. And you taught me more. Don't do this. Pay somebody else do this. I like it now because it relieves me. I can work on this and that, which I didn't know. Excellent. But now today, I get other people. You have the chance, man. There's too much information out there. It's too much. But we'll wait. We'll procrastinate and say, you know what? Like that Harlem Nights, all I need is more time. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, You just made some good points right there. I'm gonna just leave that one with you right there. When I'm speaking about you enjoying life today, I'm talking about you building an income to where you can make a lot more money through your income now that will give you the lifestyle that you want aggressively. So, what I'm saying is, see, there's two types of people in America. There's person A who's been taught go to school, make good grades so you could get a good job, who got a job, is making an honest living, and that's as far as it goes. But then you have person B who was taught the same narrative, but at some point realized that the wealthiest people in the world are making their money differently than everybody else. And so instead of being like person A, where you have a fixed income that has you living paycheck to check, person B, they've created a wealth equation that allows them to create unlimited income. There's no cap on how much money they could make from month to month. While person A is working at the job, trying to very cautiously manage their money so they can afford their lifestyle, person B is creating an independent income stream where they make enough money in their monthly revenues that they could live off of 10% of all of the money that they make. This person isn't worried about living paycheck to paycheck because they've created an income vehicle that allows them to make far more money than the amount of their expenses. Person A, they're looking forward to saving and investing. Person B is creating enough income right now, which reduces the need to invest. Person A is looking to cash out as they get older. Person B is looking to cash out within the next 5 to 10 years. Okay. I'm speaking about these two categories. I'm not talking about the person that, works at a job and then says, hey, I want to live my life right now, like Uzziah said. So I'm going to go out and buy the flashy car that I can't afford. I'm going to go out and buy the Jordans. I'm going to buy the iPhone 15 on a installment loan. And then you wonder why you're always crying broke from month to month.
Nope.
I'm not talking about that type of a lifestyle. I'm talking about two sets of people that are going to exercise enough discipline to get financial results. But what I'm saying is, depending upon the path that you're on, some results look different than others. And I will say, Cozy right here said, there is no wrong or right. I don't know how y'all feel about that. I don't know about how y'all feel about that, because I do believe, and I get where you're going on that. Shout out to you, Debbie. I do believe that 95% of the people are following a financial formula that is dead wrong. Call me crazy. I firmly believe 95% of us who were taught growing up, go to school so you can make good grades, so you can get a good job, so that way you can work for somebody else and beg them for a 2.5% raise from year to year, even though you could have made the money yourself. I do believe that we were taught myths about money. And I believe that's the reason why Rob Kiyosaki wrote the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because the things that the rich dad taught was based upon more sophisticated financial principles. The things that the poor dad was taught was largely based around his own ignorance. When you read that book, it said that the rich dad, I'm sorry, when you read in that book, it says the poor dad, if there was something that Rob Kiyosaki wanted, the poor dad would say, you can't afford it. The rich dad would say, how can you afford it? You see, when a lot of us, we get taught things from our family members like money don't grow on trees. But then you go on your first vacation on an island somewhere, and then you will notice somebody who's vacationing through passive income. So why is it that we've never been taught about how to set up those passive income vehicles? I do agree, whether you follow Dave Ramsey, Rob Kiyosaki, my content, etc., you are going to be far ahead than the average American. No matter what approach you take, as long as you follow it with discipline, it's like splitting hairs at that point. You're going to be on a path for creating generational wealth. So to that extent, I do agree. All that I will say is, however, a lot of people do need to be educated on these different principles, because I believe a lot of people are just following stuff that's dead wrong. I mean, how many times, guys, have y'all had family members who encourage you to go out and buy a brand new car right out of college? How many, how many times have your family members and friends just given you some of the worst financial advice in the world? Some of the people that have had the most to say about personal finance have been some of the most financially strapped people that you know. And they're the ones that are dominating the conversation about money. I do believe that there are certain right things to do with money and certain wrong things. If you tell me about a payday loan, I'm telling you that's wrong. If you tell me, hey, you know what, I'm focusing on getting out of debt, I'm going to look at that more on the right side. So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to close this out. I'm going to point out 4 key differences between me and Dave Ramsey as we bring this to a close. Dave Ramsey teaches you to get out of debt at all costs. I teach you, you do need to get out of debt, but you can also use debt productively in order to create generational wealth. This is why your credit matters. I am of the school of thought that, just like Dave Ramsey says, you don't need to be using credit to buy Jordans. You don't need to be using credit to buy the next phone. You don't need to be doing no buy now and pay later just to be able to get you something that was $20 to $30. That's crazy. We are in agreement there. However, I must say, when you look at people that have real wealth, a lot of people actually leveraged debt because they ended up buying an asset that made them more money over time. How many times do I tell you guys this on the broadcast? I keep telling y'all, the only reason why I took out a mortgage when I bought my investment property is because somebody else was putting money in my pocket. I told you guys, I did not buy a home right out of college for the very reason that I wanted to start building up my assets. So, could I have built wealth by buying a home, paying it off, and just sitting in there and, building up wealth? Absolutely. And that's where I'm in agreement with Cozy Coordinated Life with Debbie to say, hey, you could take it during different approaches. But the difference between Dave Ramsey and myself is he'll tell you to get out of debt at all costs. I'll tell you, hey, get rid of your bad debts as quickly as you can. And know that you can use debt responsibly in order to create generational wealth. That's why credit matters. Number 2, we both talk about investing, but I teach you not just to invest in your traditional accounts like your 401ks and your IRA, so that way you can, ball out when you're 70. I teach that you do need to invest, but you need to start getting into investments that will allow you to love your life today, not when you are 70 years old, when most of your life is already behind you. Okay. There's different types of investment classes. Some people only invest in their retirement, and some people put money into certain investments that gives them a return from month to month. Those are the things that I champion on top of your retirement accounts. I always talk about how your retirements give you tax benefits, but I've also told you guys, if all you're looking into is the 401k, just know, even if you got $1 million, by the time that you reach age 60, at best, you're living off of 30,000. So even with you doing all the right things towards getting to that million, you're still going to be hard up at age 60, because one thing that we know about life is by the time that a lot of y'all get to 60 years old, the value of $1 is not going to be what it is today. Things are going to be far more expensive. $1 million today is a lot more valuable than $1 million in 30 years from now. And okay, that's a part of the equation that you have to factor in also. A lot of you guys, you'll listen to the rhetoric about, oh man, if you just stay at this job for the next 40 years and put this into the 401k, by the time that you're age 60, when Social Security is gone, and you know it's $1 million for 2 gallons of gas, oh, then you'll made it. Y'all hear that $1 million number and y'all go, oh man, I'm on the right path. But you're not doing the math about how much money you will need to make in order to have a better quality of living in your retirement years than what you had as a working class adult. Most of you envision living a better life of more luxury in your retirement. How are you ever going to do that if you are not doing the numbers? And that's the warning. That's the reason why you have to follow a different approach. I tell you, hey, invest, but make sure you start working on those cash flow generating investments now. Otherwise, you might end up being stuck when you get older because you're not going to want to work. Number 3, I teach you that you need to invest in index funds. I don't talk about mutual funds that much on this broadcast. Hey, you getting mutual funds is better than having nothing. But I teach about the importance of index funds, mainly because I'm trying to show you how you can invest in yourself rather than relying on somebody else who does not care about you. Guys, I'm speaking from personal experience. I've invested my own money and I've also paid somebody to do it. No matter how much of my money I gave to another person, I was always more careful about my money than them. I was able to save more money, make more money, go through less stress. It was a better overall experience across the board. Now, did I learn something from other people when I gave them my money? Absolutely. But this is the reason why I encourage everybody to know the importance of personal finance, because you need to know how to look out for yourself the best. Okay. And number 4, one of the things that I really strive to do is practice what I preach. If I tell you guys to get into crypto, I'm in crypto. I get on these broadcasts. I show you my crypto wallet. I show you my funds right then and there. I tell you guys about Webull. I'm invested in Webull. I have Webull stocks. These are all things, guys, that I tell you guys about, and I do my best to strive to live by it. All right. So with that, y'all, thank y'all so much for tapping in with me tonight. Definitely a great broadcast. Yasha Allah, thank you for your participation as always, sir. Hopefully I'll see you the next time around. All right, y'all. So listen. If y'all got a lot of value, please make sure that y'all donate. You know, I know that we was on here for a little bit, but I felt that we needed to really iron this thing out. So if y'all got a lot of value and want to see this broadcast continue to push forward, then please make sure that you tap that dollar icon directly below the live chat box. Your sponsorship will go a very long way. Okay. Even if you're watching this broadcast after the live stream is over, you can still donate. All you got to do is click the links in the description below. Okay. Now, let's talk, y'all. I like what LA for Life said also. Some wealthy people do not use their own money to build wealth. Just ask Magic and Shaq. That's another point. You see, some people are of the school of thought to use other people's money. If you wait your entire life for you to get your own money before you make certain moves, you're always going to be the last person to get to the finish line. It is a get rich slow formula. There are ways that you can get rich faster, but you have to follow a different approach. So, guys, that does it for that. Listen, let's make 2022 our breakthrough year. Let's make this a time where we focus on really becoming the best version of ourselves. For those of y'all that want to focus on maximizing your potential over the next 12 months, please make sure that y'all tap that link below. Okay. I just gave y'all the link for y'all to get into a 14-day free trial into my 12-month coaching program. That is my premier program where I show you guys how to maximize your time, your money, and your energy. These are all important things that you need to know if you want to get ahead and get next level results. So please make sure that you guys join the program. If y'all find a lot of value through my free content, this will definitely take things to the next level. All right. So thank you so much, my sister LA for Life, for the $20 sponsorship. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You said you spent time on us tonight, Brother Uzziah. Thank you for investing in us as always. It's my pleasure, my sister. You know, I pray that God can use me as a vessel also to be able to educate the community. You know, I definitely believe that it's been a blessing to have so many people that's been out here showing us how to level up. And now I'm just trying to play my part. So, guys, thank you as always for y'all's participation. Remember, tomorrow I'm going to be on an interview. I will not be on this channel tomorrow, guys. So make sure that y'all know that as a heads up. The next show on this channel will be on Wednesday. I'm going to try to promote the link on this channel. Be on the lookout for the post. Yasha Allah, LA for Life, Ariel, everybody that's on. I'm going to promote a link around 7 o'clock tomorrow because I'm going to be on a panel with the Louisiana Housing Authority. It's going to be about me, 4 to 5 other people. We're going to be talking about some really important real estate investing secrets. So please make sure that y'all tap in with me. Stay tuned for the link. I'm going to give it to y'all, man. And I'm looking forward to your support. LA for Life said, yeah, you got vision so big, even I can see it. All praise to the Most High. I'm glad that the vision is going forth, my sister. And thank you so much for helping all of these visions to come to pass. Definitely could not do this thing without your support. As always, let me give a big shout out to my sponsors. Once again, shout out to Sister Ariel for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate the sponsorship and the love. Thank you, as always, to my brother Akaman for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate you, my man. Definitely want to appreciate my sister LA for Life for her $20 sponsorship. And it looks like her and my brother Yasha Allah are tied for the official sponsor slot at $20.
Another one.
Okay, thank y'all so much for all of the support. If any of y'all want to break that tie, man, I'm gonna give a minute for y'all to do what y'all do. But right now we got LA for Life and brother Yasha Allah both tied at $20. So they are both at a two-way tie on the official sponsor for tonight's show. Listen, man, I'm out of here. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tapping in with me.
I'm going to take 1 or 2 more seconds just to go through comments. Make sure that y'all subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that way you can receive an alert whenever I do another broadcast. Make sure also that you share this content. Please be your brother's keeper. Don't leave this thing a secret. Make sure that you share this on your social media platforms so that way we can help our community level up, guys. All right. I love y'all. I wish y'all nothing but much success. And listen, as long as y'all are educating yourselves on the importance of personal finance, man, that is the main thing. You may not agree with every single thing that I say, and it's all good as long as you are learning how to do better. Okay. My brother Yasha Allah, he threw his hat in the ring. He doubled down with another $5. For that, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. My brother Yasha Allah, as of right now, is holding the throne as the official sponsor for tonight's broadcast. Now, Yasha Allah, I'm going to warn you. I don't know if you heard. I might have to put you on camera for this. I just need to tell you this real quick. I don't know if you heard about this, sir, but I just want to warn you. Whenever LA for Life is in the house, if she's trying to go for that official sponsor slot, you better watch out. You better watch out and you better come with it because LA for Life is undefeated in the official sponsor contest. Many have tried. You know, there was my brother Rodney Lawrence. LA for Life said,
Nope.
Then there was Roy the Chef. And Roy the Chef, he put up some good money. For those of y'all that didn't see that broadcast, you know, the brother Roy the Chef, he put up about $300. Still, it was no match for the mighty LA for Life as an official sponsor. So just want y'all to know, whenever it's time for a tie to go down and somebody wants to break that tie, just know if LA for Life is in the house, man, y'all better be careful. So I don't know. LA for Life, she's pretty quiet right now, and I'm about to get out of here, so she might let you make it. She might let you make it, brother Yasha Allah. She might let you make it. So, you know, shout out to LA for Life. You know, maybe she's backing down. Maybe she's showing some. See? Yasha Allah, I warned you, sir. I just warned you. I appreciate you for giving a valiant effort. But the sister LA for Life, she's undefeated, man. The sister came through with another $10 sponsorship. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Another one.
I don't know if anybody else is going to try to throw their hat in the ring real quick. You know, I'm going to just wait and I'm going to just see for anybody else. Right now, the going amount is $30. Okay. If you put up, see, okay. Now we back at a tie. Now we are back at a tie. See, I wonder if Yasha Allah is going to be on LA for Life's hit list. That's what I wonder.
Nope.
I wonder if Yasha Allah is going to take the crown for the night or if LA for Life is going to be undefeated as always. You just never know. You never know. You never know. You never know. Guys, right now, the official sponsorship is tied. Whoa, no, it ain't tied. It ain't tied because Yasha Allah, he just threw an extra $20 in there. Right now, we at 50. Shout out to my brother Yasha Allah. Thank you so
Another
much.
one.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. You're holding it down, man. You're holding it down. You're holding it down, and I'm rooting for you, man. I'm rooting for you. I'm encouraging you. Yasha Allah, let's go. Is Yasha Allah going to be the one to finally break LA for Life's winning streak? Many have tried, Yasha Allah. Many have failed. But LA for Life says that she's undefeated. But now, LA for Life, I know that you just put up that $10. But I don't know if you just saw. Yasha Allah already beat you to the punch as you was trying to put in that extra donation. He saw you over there trying to make that donation all the way from LA. And he said,
Nope.
I'm holding this one down tonight. Says, okay, Yashal, is there anything that you want to say about the situation? So we see you on the screen. Is there anything that you want to tell Sister LA for Life? Maybe she don't know what type of brother you are. What do you want to tell her about what's going on right now?
I'm trying, sis. So don't. So you come with the big dogs. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you know what you just did. But hey, Yasha Allah, I'm trying to warn you, sir. I'm trying to warn you. You ain't been on these Sunday broadcasts. For those of y'all that have been on the Sunday broadcasts, y'all know it goes down. This Sister LA for Life, she be hunting on Sunday. She be hunting y'all. See, during the week, she let y'all make it. Everything is cool. But I'm telling y'all, on Sundays, LA for Life be on something different, man. I don't know. LA for Life, she's undefeated. Ronnie Lawrence done tried. Pecloria done tried. Roy the Chef done tried. And everybody that stepped up against LA for Life in the official sponsor contest has taken an L. I want y'all to tally these numbers right now. We've got Yasha Allah, who made a $20, $5. Let me bring it back up. $20. So I believe we have Yasha Allah right now at $50. Yes, he made two $5 super chats, right? Yasha Allah, you at $50. Okay, Yasha Allah's at $50, y'all. LA for Life, she's put up 20, 30, 40. So right now, LA for Life is $10 behind. We've got Brother Yasha Allah at $50. We've got Sis LA for Life at $40. So we're just going to see what happens, y'all. We're just going to see what happens. What you over there smiling about, Brother Yasha Allah?
What Sister LA Life said.
What did she say?
She said, you should be nice, Yasha Allah.
Yes, I'm telling you, man. Oh, she said, yeah. I thought she was gonna be nice. Yeah, man. You don't play. You finally on. You finally on. Everybody has their day. Everybody has their day to go up against the great LA for Life, and if it goes their way, it goes their way. Now we ain't heard nothing from LA for Life in a few minutes. This may mean that she's bowing out gracefully. Okay, we're gonna give LA for Life another, let's say another 2 minutes. Okay, see? And we didn't even have to give her 2 seconds because now she just put up another $10 super chat. I told y'all, LA for Life, LA for Life, LA for Life.
Another one.
I thought he was going to share the crown with me. Brother Yasha Allah, I warned you. 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 I warned Rodney. I warned Roy the Chef. And here the brother Yasha Allah go. He says, shut the hell up, Uzziah. Let me take the crown. Here comes another $30 sponsorship from the brother Yasha Allah. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. 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 I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you. Another one, y'all. So now we got to go back to the tally. Who's tallying with me? I see Shemaya is on. Shout out to Shemaya. Don't know if she's feeling bold enough to throw her hat in the ring. But right now we've got Brother Yasha Allah as well as Sister LA for Life going head to head on who's going to be the official sponsor of tonight's broadcast. Who's going to be the official sponsor of the broadcast where I talked about Dave Ramsey? Who's going to do it? When the rest of the world comes back and watches this video, Whose name are they going to mention as the sponsor of this show? Is it going to be LA for Life? Or is it going to be Brother Yasha Allah? Brother Yasha Allah is holding it down for the East Coast. LA for Life's holding it down for the West. Right now, we've got Brother Yasha Allah at 30, 50, 55, 60, 80. Got to pull it up just to show the proof. Brother Yasha Allah's at 80. So right now, whoever wants the official sponsor slot, you got to put up 85 or more. 85 is the official amount to be able to get on that level. Now, for those of y'all that are trying to get in on this on Cash App or PayPal, just let me know if you sent the donation, and then I'll go and check the records, and then I'll throw your name into the hat. Sis Shemaya said, shout out to the future sponsor of tonight's video. I think that's Shemaya's kind way of saying that ain't going, whoa. I guess I was wrong. I guess I was wrong. The great LA for Life is on the verge of being dethroned. Yasha Allah, who've been holding it down the entire broadcast, just got sideswiped, man. These sisters, man, I tell you, they disrespectful, ain't they? Here it is, this brother Yasha Allah, kind brother, trying to become the official sponsor of the night. And then here Sis Shemaya come with $100 super. Let's give it a round of applause. Thank you, 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 thank you. And then here comes the brother Yasha Allah, who comes right back around to take the throne once again, taking him to $105. So we got 105. Let me make sure we're doing my math right. I'm doing my math right, y'all. Okay, we talking these numbers. Yasha Allah is at 105. And then said, sorry, Shemaya, not quite.
Nope.
You know you ain't right for that. Shemaya thought she was doing something, and she was. But here come the brother Yasha Allah now throwing an extra $25 super chat into the hat to where now it's not $100, it's 105. Yasha Allah said,
nope.
Now, see, you know, the real question I'm asking myself this entire time, where is LA for Life? Because LA for Life usually don't fall behind into third place. I'm telling you, this is something different right now, man. I don't know. Maybe LA for Life, her connection went out. I'm telling y'all, for any of y'all that have been on these Sunday broadcasts, Rodney, you know this. Ro, you know this. Ariel, you know this. LA for Life don't play. LA for Life might be walking away with the bronze medal tonight, y'all. And that's crazy because up until today, LA for Life was undefeated. So here we are now. Here we are. I gotta go back to my 2-minute timer. The official throne is now set at $105. If you're going to take Yasha Allah's spot as being the official sponsor for tonight's broadcast, you must make a donation beyond 105. Right now, Shemaya is at 100. I'm tallying everything up, y'all. So if y'all already made donations before, I'm adding that to the total. That's going to be a part of your total. Shemaya is at 100. Yasha Allah is at 105. I got to go back and count where LA for Life is at. And with that, that's going to be the timer right there. The timer going to be by the time I get done counting LA for Life's donations, that's going to determine who's going to be the official sponsor of the broadcast. Let's see. If there's anybody that's looking to put their hat in the ring, it's got to be over 105. Okay, so now's the time. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, so let's go to LA for Life. LA for Life is at 10, 20, and you say you undefeated, which you were. But I don't think that you will keep that undefeated streak, LA for Life. After tonight may be the night where you've met your match. And I'm sorry, my sis, but the way that Yasha Allah coming tonight, you might be dethroned. Who knows? Shemaya, I mean, Shemaya is $5 behind LA, right? $5 behind Yasha Allah, so you can't count her out. LA for Life right now, 10, 20. Let me go. I'm checking LA for Life. I'm trying to bring you in here. 40. LA for Life, are you at $40? Is LA for Life at $40? She got to be farther than that. They didn't get that far. Ahead. Okay, we got LA for Life, y'all. She's at $20 here. 30 here. 40 here. 50 here. Okay, so we got LA for Life at $50 up against Yasha Allah's 105. So I think that's what it's going to be. Ariel asks, "Oh snap, is tonight the night?" I think that tonight is the night. I don't know if LA for Life is online. I'm seeing she's very quiet. Maybe, she's in her feelings right now because she's been humbled. She's finally been dethroned. But if there was anybody to have dethroned LA for Life, I feel like that would have been Yasha Allah or maybe Juice. See, Juice don't play neither, but I don't know where the brother Juice is at. So I think that Yasha Allah is he's about to walk away with this thing at $105. Now, just in case any of y'all put in on the Cash App, speak now. If you put it on the PayPal, speak now. I think that Shemaya threw in the towel, $5. But I think she threw in the towel. I think Yasha Allah put enough fear in her heart to say, you know what? See? She said, "Bless you, sir, Yasha Allah. All hail the king. Long live the king, King Yasha Allah, y'all." Our brother Yasha Allah is the official sponsor of tonight's broadcast. Now, LA for Life, let's be a good sport about it, LA. Everybody has their time. Everybody has their time. You held the crown for a long time as the undefeated sponsor in the official sponsor contest. But I think brother LA for Life, I think brother Yasha Allah took it for this evening. Sister Shemaya has bowed out. And shout out to Sister Shemaya, by the way. Let's definitely give a round of applause to her. All praises to the Most High. Thank you, my sister. We appreciate you.
Another one.
All in good fun. Definitely appreciate all of your sponsorship and y'all's labor of love. So listen, y'all. I'm out of here, man. LA for Life. We'll talk soon. I hope y'all are all right out there. Thank y'all so much for tuning into tonight's broadcast. Make sure that y'all stay tuned for the link I'm going to give y'all tomorrow. I'm going to be on an interview with the Louisiana Housing Authority. It's going to be a roundtable discussion. It's going to be very good with other great professionals. Y'all don't want to miss out on that. I won't be doing my typical live stream tomorrow. Instead, I'll be on that panel instead. I love y'all. I thank y'all so much for all of the sponsorship. And until next time, guys, keep pushing. What a great sport. Thank you so much, my brother Yasha Allah. Thank you once again, sir. And thank you for showing love to our sister LA for Life. We're going to give her some time to lick her wounds. She'll be back. This might be your only time getting one over on LA for Life. So just cherish the moment, brother. And until next time, y'all, I'll see y'all soon. Keep pushing.